Hi Prep2, I wish your day is fine. Today, we're gonna start the first session of Aim High book. For this term, we will have 4 units, and each unit will be divided on 3 videos. Today, we will start with Unit 1, which we can see its title on the screen right now. As we can see this picture, the title is On Camera. But in this unit, we will talk about a specific kind of cameras, not mobile phone cameras or these kinds of cameras. No, we will talk about a specific kind of cameras which is called CCTV cameras. Again, CCTV cameras. And what does it mean? So these letters are the abbreviation of this sentence. CCTV cameras, this is the abbreviation of closed circuit television cameras. And by the way, what does it mean? This is the use of video cameras to transmit a signal to a specific place, and it's often used for watching and surveillance in areas that may need monitoring and recording what are happening there, such as banks, airports, and very important places. By the way, nowadays we can see these cameras in a lot of places, not just the important places, but also we can see these cameras in shops, malls, and sometimes we can see them at the gates of some houses. They make the owners of these houses feel safer. They are putting these cameras to make their houses away from the thieves' plans. So nowadays we can see that this kind of cameras are more important than before, and they are used more and more than before. So, by the way, if you need more information about this topic, of course, you can read the topic in your book, page 4. You will find a lot of information about what are CCTV cameras for, about internet surveillance, about using the CCTV cameras in shops to watch shoppers, and you will find everything about this kind of cameras. And while reading, you will find some vocabulary that you may need to know their meanings. And that's what we will do together this video. But first, we will start with a revision just to make you more ready for the session. So question number 1, just for revision, supply the missing parts in the following dialogue. First, you need to read all the dialogue together before writing any answer, just to make your mind guess what are they talking about, and then you will start writing the answers. Rana and Soha are talking together. So, good morning, Soha. And the answer is, I'm doing my homework now. Rana, would you like to go to the cinema with me tonight? And we didn't know the answer. After that, Rana asked, why? Soha said, because I'll continue doing my homework. And Rana asked a question we didn't know until now. The answer for Soha was no. It isn't difficult, but it will take a long time. Then Rana asked another question we didn't know. Soha answered, okay, we can go tomorrow. Rana said, okay, see you tomorrow. And Soha said something at the end of the conversation. We will guess. So we will start to answer. Rana, good morning, Soha. So guess what is the answer? Yeah, we can say that the answer is, what are you doing? So the answer is, I'm doing my homework now. Would you like to go to the cinema with me tonight? So here, Soha said, sorry, I can't. We can guess the answer according to the last parts of the conversation. So she must said, sorry, I can't. Here Then Rana said, why? Because I'll continue doing my homework. Then Rana asked, is it difficult? No, it isn't difficult, but it will take a long time. Then Rana asked a question. So Soha said, okay, we can go tomorrow. So what, can you guess what is the question here? Yeah, she said, what about tomorrow? Okay, we can go tomorrow. Rana said, okay, see you tomorrow. Soha said, see you. By the way, you can write different answers, but it must be suitable for all the dialogue. After we finished this part, we are ready to start some of the difficult vocabulary you will meet while reading your book, page 4. We can go to these words. The first word is initially. Initially, what does it mean? We can say that this word means at the beginning or at first. And if we need an example, we can say that initially Mark was going to study drama, but then he changed his mind in favor of psychology. I can say another example. Initially, I was going to have fun in a restaurant, but at the end, I changed my mind. I went to the cinema. So initially here means at the beginning or at first. Word number 2, illegal. And by the way, this word is the opposite of the word legal. So here, the word illegal means not allowed by the law, and this is something forbidden to do. If you need an example for this word, you can say, it's illegal to drive through a red traffic light. So this is something not allowed by the laws. This is something illegal. Yes, great. The third word is offender. Offender. And this is a person who breaks the law or commits a crime. So this is the person who makes something illegal. Yes, great. And by the way, you can see that this is offender. Yeah. So we can say an example for this word offender. We can say prisons in many countries are full of young offenders, people who makes crimes. Is great. And then we can go to word number 4, and this is a verb, warn. Yes, we can see this verb. Warn means to tell someone about something, usually something dangerous or unpleasant, that exists or might happen, so that you can avoid it. So, for example, you can say, they often warn us not to use a computer without antivirus software. Or, I always warn my baby sister while walking together because she's always fast. So warn, to tell someone about something that's usually dangerous. And word number 5, we have this verb, interact. Interact. This verb means to have an effect on each other, to communicate, or to mix someone or some people together. So interact means to communicate with each other. For example, we can say that Mark hates the school because he finds it difficult to interact with other children. And we can go to another word. We have this word cash machine. Of course, this is noun, not a verb. We have this word, and the meaning is, this is a machine inside or outside a bank that you can get money from at any time by putting in a cash card. Cash machine like this. Yes, so cash machine is like this picture. This is cash machine. And by the way, we can say another example about this. John went to the cash machine to take out some money for the weekend because all the banks are closed at the weekend. John went to the cash machine to take out some money because all the banks are closed at the weekend. So after that, we can guess what's this word? Surveillance. Yes, great. Surveillance, the careful watching of someone who may have done something wrong. Surveillance, to keep someone on your eyes. The careful watching of someone who may have done something wrong. For example, you can look at this camera. Yeah, so these cameras are, we can use it for surveillance to watch someone who may have done something wrong. For example, we can say this sentence: the suspects were kept under surveillance before being arrested. Or, the police are keeping the suspects or the accused people under surveillance for a long time just to be sure of their behavior. Again, the police are keeping the accused people under surveillance for a long time to be sure of their behavior. And we can go to the next word. Here we have this verb is deter, to make someone decide not to do something, especially by telling them it would have bad consequences. Deter, to make someone decide not to do something or to prevent him doing this thing. So if we need an example for this verb, we can say the high prices of this shop deter people from buying clothes from it. The high prices of this shop deter people, make people decide not to do this thing. So the high prices of this shop deter people from buying clothes from it. And by the way, another word, this is the word tag. Yeah, tag, this is a small piece of card or material fastened to something to give information about it. It's like a label, like this picture. This is tag, when you can find a price or some information about your clothes from the shop. So here, another word, shoplifters. This word, shoplifters. So what does it mean, shoplifters? A person who steals something from a shop while pretending to be a normal customer. Someone who steals from a shop, like this picture and like this picture. So they are shoplifters. Yes, great. And another word, potential. Potential. Here, this is something that may become something or that may happen in the future. This is something that may happen. We are not sure. For example, we can say this sentence. We can say that it's potential to go for Alexandria this weekend. This is something, it's not sure. This is potential. This is something may happen. We are not sure. And after that, we can go to monitor. Monitor. This is a verb, means to check or to record or test something regularly for a period of time. So the noun is monitoring and the verb is monitor, to test something for a long time, or to check or to record. For example, most teachers use tests to monitor the progress of their students. So most teachers use tests to monitor. What does it mean? To check or to record or to test the progress of their students. Another verb which is work out, to find the answers to something or to solve a problem. So here, I'm sorry, we didn't show this picture. So monitor like this picture or like this picture. So here monitor means to record or to check something for a long time. So here we have some monitors like screens, and here's a man are sitting just to monitor, to check or to record something for a long time. Work out, to find the answer to something, to solve a problem. So this is verb means to solve the problem, and we can use this example to show the meaning. Can you work out how much it costs to install a CCTV camera? Can you work out, like can you answer or solve this problem? Can you answer this question? Can you work out how much it costs to install a CCTV camera? Like that. Another word, and this is citizen. And this is a noun, means a person who has the legal right to belong to a particular country. So citizen means person or people who live in a particular country. By the way, we can use this example to show the meaning. The citizens of Paris are very proud of their city. The citizens of Paris are very proud of their city. That means people who lives in Paris are very proud of their city. And here we can go to the last word for lesson 1, vulnerable. And this word means something weak or something easy to hurt, something weak or something easy to hurt. And by the way, I can use this example to show you the meaning. My computer seems to be vulnerable to viruses. It had 6 viruses this month already. So that means that my computer system is weak and it's not strong enough to fight viruses. At this point, we can say that we finished the part of vocabulary. We talked about the meaning of some difficult words, and we can say that we saw some pictures of them, and we said some examples for these words. And by the way, we have here some questions to check if you got these words or not. Number 1, the famous actor wore dark glasses to avoid being understood or recognized or seen or imagined. So the answer is recognized. Yes, great. So he wore dark glasses to avoid being recognized, to be known. Number 2, do you need some space with your bags? So the answer is yes, great. Assistance. This is like help. Do you need some help? Do you need some assistance with your bags? Number 3, police are carrying out an space into the crime to find out who did it. Is the right answer is intention, extraction, investigation, or recognition. So the right answer, of course, it will be investigation. Yes, great. Like they are making tests or trying to search who is the criminal. Number 4, we purchased a new antivirus program from a well-known space company. So the right answer is a well-known software. Yes, great, because this is programmed, so of course it's a software, not a hardware. Number 5, in most countries it's a space to use a mobile phone while you are driving. Is it illegal, legal, allowed, or permitted? So of course, because this is something forbidden, of course it will be illegal. Yes, great. And here we can go to number 6. CCTV cameras are intended to, of course, it will be what people from committing crime. Is it monitor, or recognize, or deter, or benefit? Yeah, this is deter. Yes, great. So CCTV cameras are intended to what? Just to monitor? No, deter people from committing crime, to avoid that people make crimes. Number 7, the careful watching of people who may have done something wrong is called what? So this process, the careful watching of people, means what? Do you remember? Yeah, surveillance. Yes, great. Yes, this is a bad line. Number 8, police are carrying out an space into the crime to find who did it. Yes, this is a repeated sentence. Of course, you can answer it right now. Yes, great. This is investigation. Perfect. Number 9, I tried to space him, but it was too late. The police caught him. I tried to, yes, great, warn. Number 10, it's a space to use mobile phone while driving. It's what? Is it legal? Of course not. Is it allowed? Of course not. So it's illegal. Yes, great. And number 11, space are people who steal from the shops. Can you remember? Yes, they are shoplifters. Yes, great. They are shoplifters. Of course, this is the right answer. And then we can go to number 12. High-speed internet connections have made computers more space than ever before. So high-speed internet connections made computers more vulnerable. Yes, great. More weak or more easy to be hurt by viruses. Number 13, we sometimes rely too much, rely equal depend, rely too much into, on, or above technology to solve social problems. Rely, we can say that the verb rely, it's always related to on, rely on. Number 14, governments must provide their space with all supplies they need. Governments must provide their offenders? Of course not. Of course, it's citizens. Great. Number 15, prisons in many countries are overflowing with young, do you remember prisons? People who make crimes? Of course, they are offenders. Yes, great. Number 16, the security guards use walkie-talkies so that they can space with each other. Do you remember a verb equal communicate with? Yes, yes, yes. This is interact. Number 17, and this is the last one for lesson 1. From his possession, the security guard was able to space the shoppers without being seen. The security guard was able to install, avoid, observe, or found. 2 plus infinitive and the meaning, so he was able to observe, just to see the shoppers without being seen. So of course this is the right answer, and this is the last part of lesson 1. What about lesson 2? Let's go to lesson 2. In unit 1, lesson 2, we will talk about word formation. So how to make a noun from its verb. Here we will talk about how to make the noun of its verb. If we have a verb and we will need to make the noun, we may need to use one of these suffixes. We will add one of these suffixes to the end of the verb to make it as a noun. So sometimes we will add the suffix ment, M-E-N-T, or we will need to add the suffix A-N-C-E to the end of the verb to make it as a noun, or sometimes we will need to add the suffix I-O-N to the end of the verb to make it as a noun. Of course, we will try to apply these suffixes with these verbs to guess what is the nouns of these verbs. So this is a verb appear. So can you guess what is the noun of the verb appear? Will you add M-E-N-T or A-N-C-E or I-O-N? Of course, we will add the suffix A-N-C-E to make it appearance. Yes, great. Number 2, assist. This is a verb, means help. So can you guess what's the noun of the verb assist? Yes, you can guess right. Assistance. Yes, great. So assistance means help. Attach. So can you guess what's the noun of the verb attach? Yes, attachment. Yes, great. Attachment, like the file you can send while writing and sending email to your friend or to your company or like that. So attachment, this is a file you can attach while sending an email. And the verb detect. So all of these are verbs and we are adding suffixes like these to make it as a noun. So detect equal to know or to realize someone or something. So detect here, what's the noun of detect? Detection. Yes, great. So here the noun of detect is detection. Yes, great. Develop. Yes, you can think what is the noun of develop. We will think about one of these suffixes. So the noun of develop is development. Yes, great. Exasperate. Exasperate. What does it mean? What's this verb? So the verb exasperate is to make someone angry. The verb exasperate means to make someone angry. So what is the noun of exasperate? You will add M-E-N-T or A-N-C-E or I-O-N. Yes, exasperation. When you want to add I-O-N and the verb ends with E, you will just cancel letter E and just put I-O-N, exasperation. Do you remember what does it mean, exasperate? Yes, to make someone angry. And here is the verb harass. Yeah, what does it mean? It's like the verb exasperate, to annoy someone but in a repeated way. To annoy someone but in a repeated way. So can you guess what's the noun of harass? Which suffix you will add here? Harassment. Harassment. Yes, great. Investigate. Investigate, to make tests or to search who is the criminal. So investigate. What's the noun of investigate? Investigation. This is a verb ending with E and we need to add I-O-N, so we will cancel E and then we will put I-O-N. So here, investigate, investigation. By the way, we can say do investigation. So if I want to say that police are making investigation or doing investigation, so police are doing investigation. Recognize, and this is like the verb detect, or this is to know. Recognize equal to know. And by the way, this is a special verb because the noun here, it will be recognition. So by the way, here the form of the verb a little changed. Recognize, the noun of recognize is recognition. And here the last verb is treat, and the noun is treatment. So treat has two meanings. We can say treat as deal with someone, and treat equal cure, treatment equal cure. So the doctor gave me the perfect treatment for my disease. The second part of lesson 2 is we will have some verbs of looking. Of course, we look at each other, but in a different ways. So here we have some verbs of looking, how to look at each other. We will know what does it mean, and we will see how is that look. We have the first verb stare, to look at something or somebody for a long time. And we can say like this picture, stare, to look for a long time at something or somebody. So we can say, for example, my sister spends most of her time staring out of the window, looking for a long time out of the window. And then we can go to verb number 2, glare. So here, to look at something or somebody angrily, like this picture or like this picture. Yeah, so these pictures, we can say that old woman glared at me, or the baby glared at her mother. What does it mean? That to look at something or somebody angrily. For example, John glared at his sister angrily when she dropped his digital camera. So he glared at her means that he looked at her in angry way. Observe, to watch carefully, to discover more about it. And no, this is not the right picture. Yes, great. Observe, to watch carefully, So this is the verb observe. So here we can say our teacher observes us carefully during the exams to make sure nobody is cheating. This is observe, to look or watch something carefully. And here we can say that here another verb, gape, to look at something or somebody with your mouth open, especially when you don't understand something or like that. So for example, we can say that an example for the verb gape, we all gaped at my brother in surprise when he announced he was leaving home. So this is something strange, and we gaped at my brother in surprise. We looked at him with our mouth open, especially when you don't understand something like that. We have glance, to look at somebody or something quickly. So here, this is the verb glance, to look at somebody or something quickly. After that, we have this verb, peer, to try to see somebody or something when you can't see it clearly, like this picture. So this is something unclear and you want to see it, so she tries to peer. What does it mean? To try to see something clearly because it's not clear. The verb peek, to look at something or somebody quickly and secretively. Like what? Like this picture. Or no, yes, this is peek. This is peek, and of course this is to look at something or somebody secretively. Spot, and this is the last verb. Spot is to look at somebody or something suddenly, like this. So when you look at someone like this picture, you are spotting. Yes, great. And for example, I spotted at a mistake when I was reading through my paragraph. So what does it mean? I spotted at the mistake, like I looked at it suddenly. And here we are ready to practice some sentences on the verbs. We all stood and space in astonishment when we saw him in a brand new sports car. So that was looking in a surprise, and we were opening our mouths, so we gaped. Yes, great. And we gaped. We all stood and gaped, opening our mouths. My mother has always taken great care over her. My mother has always taken great care over her appearance. Yes, great. She is thinking a lot about her appearance. Number 3, our neighbor spaced over the high wall and asked us why we were making so much noise. So our neighbor, because he was angry, so he glared. Yes, great. And then the famous actor tried to avoid space. The famous actor tried to avoid what? Avoid detection. Yes, great. Because here he tried to avoid to be known. He fell over and needed some space. He fell over and needed some, of course, assistance. Yes, great. Assistance. Some help. Number 6, Sarah sent off the email without including the. Do you remember a word means something you send with the email? Yes, the attachment. Number 7, our teacher spaced us carefully during exams to make sure nobody is cheating. Of course, to look carefully, to observes. So the right answer is observes. And here we can go to experts are doing space. About how the accident happened, experts are doing investigations. Of course, this is the right answer. Investigations. Number 9, the police. Do you remember I said something about this sentence before? The police is or are. Yes, are. The police are searching for the thief at the moment. Number 10, women always spend much money in, at, off, or on clothing and makeup. On. Yes, great. Spend something on. Spend money on clothing and makeup. Rewrite, and this is the last question for this session. Rewrite. The taxi driver looked at her in an angry way when she told him she had no money to pay the fare. Use the verb glared. Yes, glared here equal looked at her in an angry way. So we will cancel all this part and write glared. So the right answer is the taxi driver glared at her when she told him she had no money to pay the fare. Number 2, I looked at her in surprise when I saw her new style. We need you to use stared. So stared here equal what from your sentence? Stared here equal looked at her in surprise. So if I need to use the word stared, I will say that I stared at her when I saw her new style. I stared at her when I saw her new style. Number 3, he couldn't solve the math problem. He couldn't solve the math problem. So we talked about the verb work. Work with another preposition means to solve the problem. Do you remember? Work out. Yes, great. He couldn't work out the math problem. This is the right answer. So we will put the preposition out next to the verb work. Number 4, nobody told me in advance about the road works. And we need you to use the verb warned. So warned here equal from this sentence told me in advance. So we can say that the right answer is nobody warned me about the road works. Last sentence. The bank was shut, so he took some money out of the place outside the bank. So we need you to use a word with the word cash to talk about the sentence. So we can say the bank was shut, so he took some money out of the cash machine. So we used the word cash machine instead of the place outside the bank. At this point, we can say that we finished lesson 1 and 2 of unit 1. We talked about CCTV cameras, and we talked about how to form a noun from its verb, and we talked about some different verbs of looking, and we had some examples of it, and then we answered some of questions about every part in that unit or in that part of the unit. So at this point, I can say that I wish everything is clear for you. Next time, wait for me, and I'm waiting for you.